2, 1.
Here we go!
All right. It's a Saturday, week 0, halftime of the first biggest game of the season. First time we're doing this, Knish. We are Hit the Books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel. Before I get to your questions, comments, concerns, probably some 4-letter words. Before I get to all that, let me just get the read out of the way by FanDuel, because this is going to be probably, and we're not going to do an hour or anything, guys, but we will be lively. So first off, before anything the show goes downhill, let me get, in case you've been living under a rock, Hit the Books is sponsored by FanDuel, and football's back. You just watched the intriguing first half, to say the least. And while this is a college football show, there's no better place to get in on the NFL action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Why? Because right now, all customers can bet $5, just $5, and get a 3-week free trial of the NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then you'll be able to watch every single regular season Sunday afternoon game, out-of-market game. Plus, with FanDuel, you don't even have to leave the app to access real-time stats and data to help you make even more winning bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. Hit the Books is one word. Disclaimer, must be 21 plus, 18 plus DC and present in select states. Offer ends September 22nd. After the 3-week free trial, the full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg/help.com. Knish, what's happening, my main man?
I mean, I think we got a lot of takes on that first half. So, glad if you were a Friday show listener and a FanDuel bettor, you got that 28.5, and we're able to sneak in that first half under, which after the first 2 drives, I wasn't thinking was looking too good. But man, oh man, and let's just give the second half line. It looks like our friends at FanDuel are trading a live -3.5. A lot of the market is Florida State -4. Over under second half 26.5. Live total there, 54.5 if you want it. So, depending on where you shop, you have anything second half wise that jumps out to you right away before we get to the takes?
No, I mean, if you want to play an off-market number, the 3.5. But Georgia Tech gets the ball first. There's nothing really redeeming on Florida State in that first half outside of their kicker, which we were joking right before we came on. Is there? I don't know if anybody knows this. Is there a Groza award market up? Because if that market's up right now, this guy has got to be the early favorite. You make 250+ yard field goals on a wet grass field, long grass. You can see they grow their grass a little bit longer than the fields in America. I got to be impressed with that. But most importantly, got impressed with Georgia Tech. To say the least. They're much better than I expected, particularly on defense. They're holding up a little bit better than I thought. And then they pushed around this Florida State defensive line that the NFL scouts are saying best defensive line in the country. I hate overreacting to one half of football, but that ain't the best defensive line in the country, folks.
No,
not even close.
No, and you know what? I mean, after that first Florida State man ball drive, I was like, all right. This game is over. Threw a few, jokes out there on Twitter, like if that, because that was the Georgia Tech defense of last year. You couldn't stop anybody. You had no physicality in the front seven, and they were able to, get it together there and really slow down that Florida State rushing attack. And as we've seen, this is kind of the DJU career. Like if he doesn't have, when everything's rolling, if he's got that running game, it's all right. If he doesn't have that rolling, he's not a guy who can just kind of drop back and start flinging it around and win you ball games. So, yeah, not to overreact to one half of football, but, Florida State, arrow pointing down, we would say, after that half. So I do like I'm horrible with pronunciations, as we know. I do like that Tuafilo. I mean, he looked pretty fantastic there in terms of as far as skill positions. I'm going to have to get Toafili. I was thinking Tuafili. Toafili, he's a special player. He's got some real nice juice. Outside of that, you know what? They don't on the outside. They obviously lost Coleman, lost Johnny Wilson, and they don't look to have replaced those guys with elite players. So, I don't know.
We appreciate that super chat there for 1999. If you're not starting off 0-1, you went 0-1. You weren't watching yesterday's show. We did give out 28.5 under, but probably should have pushed that one. But it did close 27 CLV, baby. But you're right. I mean, kind of a not ideal. I mean, if you did 59-yard field goal on that, it's just unbelievable that he made that. But not great. I see the comments on my appearance and my look. Yeah, I mean, I'm fired up. I do live for this stuff. So, yeah, I'll tell you what I'm sweating. I bet Georgia Tech's season win total under and Florida State's win over. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this could be disastrous for me right out of the gates. I mean, it could be really, really bad. The first game of the season. Let's talk some other games because do you really have anything side or total second half play?
No, I don't. I don't think I Gundam. I mean, I know Georgia Tech looked like overall. I think they had the slightly better performance in the first half. I would trust Norvell's second half adjustment. They were a tremendous second half team last year. My guess is Florida State wins. By 3-7.
I agree. If Florida State was getting the ball first, I'd say Florida State 4. But I want to see what this first drive looks like before I get involved, maybe even live. Let's talk some other games. SMU, we did give out minus 26.5. Maybe that comes into play because market's trading 27.5 right now. We gave that out earlier this week on Monday. Any thought process changed in that game? You still like the ponies?
No, still like the ponies. I know the total's taking a hit down here. Honestly, a lot depends on it. It's funny because we talked that, some Nevada pride, the Brendan Lewis prop yesterday. I mean, I would, if he doesn't throw for 140 yards, I think the Nevada probably loses the game by 40. Because that to me is one that Nevada's going to have to put up some points here. I don't think they're going to be able to. What they went into the second half of last season when their offense collapsed and they were trying to, play 3-0 games in the Mountain West. I don't think that's going to work today. So, no real change there. And nothing probably in that one that I'm dying to bet. Yeah,
nothing for me right now with the current numbers there, but I'll be rooting for you, buddy, to say the least. I do want to, again, thanks, Adam, for that super chat on 1999.
For sure.
A lot of people, some famous people in the chat. I see Fezzik's in there. The boss, the pizza man, Rob. It says we were good when Knish reverse mushed his total an hour ago. Yeah, I mean, one by a hook. That's the name of the game. Shop, get the best number. I mean, folks, that's all it is. That's all it is, honestly. What just transpired there is mainly the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, well said.
If you got, it's everything. Because I know some people probably didn't even get 28. Probably got 27.5 late to the party. That's it. That's the game right there. The game within the game. Gil, this is a really good comment. Are we betting Boston College plus 20.5 right now? Is that up at a lot of books? It took BC about 24 to 48 hours ago. Took some money. It was 21.5. Are we doing anything right now? Because obviously, as I see right now, we're downgrading Florida State's power rating.
Yeah, and I'm seeing mostly now it even looks like some flat 20s.
I see some 19.5s popping.
Is that game still, Zach? Do you see that game still up at our friends at FanDuel? Have that keeping that up?
It would be Labor Day night, so it'd be all the way at the bottom. He is looking currently at that one. But yeah, I think I like the thought process from Gil there. Books keep them up. Let's take advantage. I was already liking BC in the game. I've already bet BC in the game. I think it's tough coming off the travel. I mean, twofold. Florida State loses outright. I mean, I don't want them in a bounce back situation. I think there's a lot of questions surrounding it. Obviously, the market's going to react if they lose outright. A lot of questions about FCS games. While Zach's looking for the BC Florida State game. Connor in the chat, thoughts on Southeast Missouri State -6? No, I'm on the other side of North Alabama. There's been some interesting movement in the FCS markets this morning. Some early money on Southeast Missouri State. I didn't know if it was a group. I was wondering if it was going to go high, but I took North Alabama. Now, we'll see what FanDuel does. We love FanDuel, sponsor the show, and we love them putting up numbers early, but they put up these numbers on these games. And as we say, I just got the Dom Best steam alert, BC getting steamed right now as we're doing this, BC. So very good comment. It's down to 19.5, probably goes further. So that's another thing. Just, you don't have to be this ain't rocket scientists.
Yeah.
Florida State looks awful. Let's bet it. They keep a line up for next week. Let's go ahead and bet it. As far as the FCS, I lean North Alabama, but guess what? My power rating 6.5. Really can't play it now. You know I like Norfolk State. Problem is FanDuel opened 21.5 earlier this week. It got bet down. I was still hoping to release 14.5 today, but nah, it's just a lean now on Norfolk State. And the thinking behind there is, boy, if you have returning experience numbers in the FCS, I happen to have that. It's a matchup of basically a top 5 returning experience team in Norfolk State against a bottom 5 team as far as returning experience in Florida A&M. So, and I'm pretty conservative with my power ratings adjustments. So I do lean Norfolk State there. This is one where I was hoping it would tick down for this show. I disagree with the move on the McNeese State Tarleton State game. I lean Tarleton State -14.5. Have you heard anything on that? That's not good with the dog barking.
No, I was gonna say no. That's not the time we wanted. The first 2 games, I agree with you. There's still some 7 out there in North Bama. That's thin. But if you want to play a little of that, I played some 7.5, but nothing crazy. Agreed with you on the Norfolk move there. Florida, I got so many transfers. It's one of those.
Yeah,
it's such a high variance game. Like they could all those guys. They took a ton of P5 transfers. Maybe they come together and beat the crap out of Norfolk State, or they don't. So yeah, but I
you either got into the numbers or you didn't. That's
yeah.
In one way, I love FanDuel did that. I'm hoping they don't post them on Mondays. Just one book has FCS numbers up all week, because I mean you got to bet them. If you know the line's way off, somebody's gonna bet them. But obviously it influences when the entire market opens up an hour before kickoff. It's not ideal.
I'll tell you, just in terms of what's currently out there, I think we've seen a little bit too much under love on the Hawaii Delaware State.
Okay, I'm glad we're bringing that one up
because
something is off, because you can't have the total down 5 points and the side only moved a half point or a point. Something's mispriced. I tend to think it's always windy in Hawaii. So is it a little bit more windy than usual? Yeah, but what are we doing there? Are we playing over 51.5?
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
Are we taking the dog?
Nah, I would tend to lean I think the over's been a little too cooked, or the under's been a little too cooked there, where now I'm seeing a little bit of value coming back on the over. Because I generally agree with I don't think this Delaware State defense, which was horrific last year, maybe marginally improved. But I mean,
gave up 60 points a game to Miami, Ohio, and Army last year, and Hawaii's a better offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shop around. I see our friends at FanDuel 52.5. There are some 51.5s out there in the market, so I would tend to lean over there.
Yeah,
I agree. Too much of a over adjustment there. It moved to about 3.5, 4 points today. Too much. Anything else? Montana State, New Mexico looks like that line's holding.
Yeah, I think that's been shaped pretty well. It would be a small lean under 14 still on Montana State.
Yeah, hit 14, a little bit of buyback. I was following along. I lean Tarleton. I'm okay with Tarleton State -14.5. Again, not a big bet. You got to respect. Keep in mind when somebody out there might know something when it moves 3 points on game day. General public's not betting Tarleton State McNeese. So
this
you got to always respect.
It's probably the biggest mover of the day is the over in this one. I know
I agree with that. Do you?
Faithful listeners of the show also was in my DMs saying he loved the over. I don't know whether he did a little piece for the action. I'd have to I don't know if he wants me to give out his information, so I'll keep that until he gives me the go ahead. But yeah, he liked the over in that one, but that's way up now. So I agree with the move, but I wouldn't be going anymore at 64.5, 65.
Tarleton should have one of the best offenses in the FCS this year. 10 returning starters. They were pretty productive last year. They're a sneaky good team. So what else we got here? What would I guess I'm not as fired up as I'm a little bit out of gas. I was so fired up for that first couple of drives that
I was gonna say, I know you came in here.
I gotta pace myself. I'm gonna wind myself up. I'm gonna have to need a nap for the night games.
The guy's doing some CrossFit over there, and during the first quarter in his living room. So I know, but I agree. You know what? I agree. I think I'll I don't know how much I'll be into the New Mexico, Montana State, and then come back around for SMU, Nevada in terms of what the Joey K schedule is looking like today for sweating games. So yeah,
I'm not going to be as emotionally invested. Although, I mean, I would hope Montana State covers a 4.5 ticket, and some of SMU the ticket. I mean, I have some ridiculous numbers here, so. If I don't have a winning day, then you'll know. Let's just say this: you'll know about it on Twitter, because there'll be some fired up. I prefer to. If I have a winning day, then I'll be quiet. But when I have a losing day, I'm opposite everybody else. Swimming bets. Do we got any?
Yeah, no, I should jump
in the pool right now.
I was gonna say I was having to run around a little bit this morning. Cleaning lady was coming by actually, so I couldn't get the. I should have swimming bets that Georgia Tech. And our buddy the Hitman giving out a preseason right during our halftime here. Well, how inconvenient for us.
You know what? Hitman's been doing this.
I know.
He's giving out bets.
Yeah, every time.
I'm not exaggerating. Every show for the last 2 weeks.
Can't wait till Forward Progress when we can give him a little payback there. Whenever we're taping this Forward Progress, going to come in.
He knows you guys are live. He's doing this on purpose.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I can't get down on any of his plays. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think a guy who, after his reputation last year on Forward Progress, he'd want to build back some goodwill with his coworkers here. But
that's lost. Fezzik. I see this. He's in the chat. He bet.
What's the Blue Horse? Did the Blue Horseshoe say
he loves Georgia Tech second half?
Georgia
he took
Tech
+4 -105. They get the ball. They're going to win, which would be really good on you because you said it. That would be good. You said it an hour before game time. They're live, baby. And right now they are live, Georgia Tech.
I do. Yeah. I mean, gun to my head. I think Florida State wins the game, but it was a pretty even first half all around. Even, one of those things, it doesn't look like they had turnover luck or any of that stuff. They were able to shore up that front line. And once that got going, it was a pretty good. Yeah. I can tell by the way he's releasing it. Thank God he actually sent me some money this morning or I'd be really pissed off. So,
Kirk, yeah, we addressed the Norfolk thing. Word got out on that one. I saw it kind of on Twitter. I saw our comments on Friday's show on that on Norfolk. Just didn't last like I thought it would.
Yeah,
I thought we'd even. Didn't you think? I thought there might be a chance we get like a 17.5.
Gabe brings up a big point here. Does the Blue Horseshoe have some SMU -3,000 tonight? That's what the people on. I see Penny's got -2,900. What's our friends at FanDuel trading? They got a money line up for tonight here on if it's under 3 -4,500. So, yeah, well,
that's the perfect number. Is it not? Was that not the Purdue money line?
I was gonna say that's right in his range. So I will see. We'll see Nevada. Oh, he loves Nevada +28. Okay,
really?
Well, you might get a 28 before kickoff here. We'll see.
There you go. So Nevada, the whole Blue Horse. You got the Blue Horseshoe halftime today. He's getting them in. We will not be touting the picks though, Fez. We won't be touting. Go over and buy your all plays. But that is Fezzik. Anything else you got? I don't know. Second half's getting ready to start. I guess I got not much. The best piece of advice was Gil in the chat. The bet BC. It started getting steam then.
I agree. I think that it just unless they smash them the second half, I don't think it'll be 20.
Fair enough. Well, that is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire on a Saturday. Zach Phillips joined us. And thank you to all the questions and comments. We'll do this every week on a Saturday. Biggest games of the week. We'll jump live on halftime, and we'll see ends up what happening. Here goes Georgia Tech already. Big play. On the first play of the second half, about a 40-yard run. That Florida State #1 best defensive line in the country, according to the draft scouts.
Bud Elliott fooled us all. #1 D line. No,
not just Bud. I got other guys that I really trusted. Florida State said how great this fucking defense was, and that's a big reason why I gave out first half under. I thought, Florida State dead under team. They're going to run the football, play defense. Unbelievable. Well, if you did watch Hit the Books yesterday, you got that all-important, what do we say? All-important half point. That's all that matters.
Baby. That's the
so
difference.
1-0 for Hit the Books. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same bat channel, 5 o'clock. Enjoy the second half, guys. Happy week 0.